Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode here on True Confessions, Naija. The confession you are about to listen to comes from a message we received from one of our sisters, and the message reads like this. Hello, brothers and sisters. I want you to listen carefully to what I'm about to say, because this is not just a story. It is my confession. It is my truth. Yes. To the outside world, people see me and think I am a successful woman. They think I have everything: money, cars, businesses, and a beautiful home. Some people even admire me, but deep down in my heart, I know the truth. And the truth is far darker than anything people imagine. Because the money that I have, the cars that I drive, and the lifestyle that I show, it's not real. It's an illusion. An illusion created by powers I should have never touched. And now, I live every single day knowing that my soul is not mine anymore. My story begins years ago, back when I was still in Zimbabwe. My husband was a boiler maker. He left home to work in South Africa, and I stayed behind with his mother. At first, things were fine. He would call once in a while, send a little money, and promise that very soon life would be better. But with time, the calls became fewer, the money stopped, the promises disappeared. Weeks turned into months, and months turned into years. Then I discovered the truth. My husband had fallen in love with another woman in South Africa. She was not just older than him, she was older than his own mother. But still, he married her. The news broke me. For 4 long years, I waited for him. 4 years of loneliness, of hunger, of shame. Sometimes, people and my mother-in-law would survive by picking wild fruits in the forest. Days would pass without a proper meal, and yet, I would hear that my husband was working, making money and building a life, not with me, but with her. When I finally went to South Africa, I found that the woman had already built herself a beautiful home, all with the money that my husband was giving her. My husband had completely abandoned me. One day, my mother-in-law looked at me with pity and said, "My daughter, maybe it is time we try something else. Maybe we should go to a traditional healer." At first, I resisted. I thought about God, about prayer, about doing things the right way. But in my heart, I was just tired. I felt abandoned, not just by my husband, but by God himself. Because many nights, I would cry and beg God to bring back my husband. I would cry until my chest hurt, but nothing happened. So when my mother-in-law insisted, I finally agreed. We went to a traditional healer. That man looked at me and told me that getting my husband would not be easy, but with certain rituals, it would be possible. He said all we needed were 3 chickens. The first chicken I named after the woman who had taken my husband. I left it in the forest and declared that just as the chicken would wander aimlessly, so would she. She would begin to feel trapped, suffocated, and regret ever loving my husband. The second chicken I named after my husband. I released it into another forest, declaring that he would wander aimlessly in his heart, feeling lost until he remembered me and the family he left behind. The third chicken was special. The healer told me to take it home, to care for it, as if it was my husband himself. He said, my husband's soul was tied to that chicken. He told me that the day my husband returned home, I should slaughter it, cook a meal, and serve him. I believed. Me and my mother-in-law cared for that chicken as if it was a child. And then one day, like magic, my husband came back. When he walked through the door, I felt alive again. I was so happy that I forgot all the pain he had caused me. I did exactly as the healer instructed. I slaughtered the chicken, cooked a meal, and gave him the charm. From that day, he completely forgot about the other woman. We stayed together for some months, and for the first time in years, I felt loved again. But deep down, something inside me had changed. I had tasted the power of rituals. I had cried to God for years, and He did nothing. But the very first time I called on my ancestors through the healer, they answered. And so, I started depending more on the healer. I began communicating with him secretly, even more than I spoke to my own mother. One day, I told the healer that I was tired of struggling. I wanted wealth. I wanted to live a life where I would never cry again. He looked at me and smiled. He said, my daughter, I see a mansion in your future. I see cars. I see riches. But it will come at a price. When I asked him, what's the price? He said, you must bury your husband's head under the foundation of your mansion. His blood will buy you wealth. I was shocked. I told him I couldn't do that. I didn't want to kill anyone. He said, if you don't want to kill him physically, we can do it spiritually. Buy a black bull and bring it to me. I was desperate. I slept with men, saved the money, and finally gave him enough to buy the bull. We slaughtered it, and I named it after my husband. But what scared me most was this. When I looked at the bull's head after the ritual, I no longer saw the bull. I saw my husband's face staring back at me. That was not enough. The healer demanded more blood. He said my husband's spirit was strong and needed more sacrifice. Against my better judgment, I sacrificed my own little sister. I can never forget that day. Her blood filled a large dish where the bull's head was being preserved. I told myself I was doing it for wealth, for survival, but in truth, I destroyed my family and myself. After that, money started appearing from nowhere. I could pay workers, buy land, build a mansion, but even then, something felt wrong. The money looked real, but people could never do anything meaningful with it. It was cursed. When the mansion was finally built, the healer and I buried the bull's head inside the foundation in the middle of the night. On top of that spot, I built a special room, one that no one is ever allowed to enter. That room is always empty, but it is the heart of my house. Sometimes I go in there to slaughter chickens. I sprinkle their blood on the floor and I watch it sink into the tiles as if the foundation itself is drinking. I know it is not just the ground drinking. I know It's my husband's soul trapped forever, feeding, working for me. So yes, I live in a mansion. I drive expensive cars. People admire me. But what they don't know is that my wealth is fake. The devil owns it. He owns me. I cannot sleep in peace. At night, I hear whispers. Sometimes I see shadows moving across the secret room. Sometimes when I close my eyes, I see my little sister's face crying. People see me laughing, but inside I am empty. And that is my confession. Brothers and sisters, this is my truth. Don't envy people you see shining on the outside, because you don't know what they are paying for that shine. Some of us are slaves to the power we cannot control, slaves to the underworld. And now I ask you, after hearing my confession, do you still think wealth without peace is worth it? It means a lot to have my story heard. I will be in the comments to read your perspectives and opinions. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our sisters. Let us try to talk to her in the comment section. Things they happen for this our world. Now wow.